By the end of the lesson, I should be able to multiply integers using rules. First thing you need in your notes is the MD triangle. We call this the MD triangle because we use this triangle when multiplying and dividing integers. There are a few rules for multiplying integers. The first rule is that if the signs are the same, the sign of the answer is positive. And if the signs are different, the sign of the answer is negative. If you use your MD triangle, you will always get this correct. So how to use the MD triangle? The first thing that you're going to need to do is draw the MD triangle on your assignment. The second thing is use your fingers to cover up the integer symbols of the two integers you are multiplying. The third is write down what integer symbol is visible where you are going to write your answer. And step 4, multiply the two integers together. So if this were my assignment, I've already drawn my MD triangle. And I'm going to cover up the MD triangle with my fingers or my hands. So I have a positive 4 and a negative 4. So I'm going to use my hand. I'm going to cover up a negative and I'm going to cover up a positive. So I'm going to have a negative answer because I've covered up a negative and a positive because I have a positive 4 and a negative 4. Then I'm just going to simply multiply. 4 times 4 is 16. So my final answer is negative 16. Same thing, I'm going to use the MD triangle again. You don't have to draw the MD triangle for every single problem. You just need it on your page one time. So notice that I have 2 steps in this one. So I'm going to concentrate just on what's in the red box first. So I have 9 times negative 5. I'm going to use my fingers or my hands to cover up a positive for the 9 and a negative for the 5. So I'm going to have a negative, and I'm going to multiply 9 times 5 to get 45. I'm going to bring down my negative 2 because I haven't used it yet. And now I'm going to concentrate on what's in this red box. So I have a negative 45 times a negative 2. So on my sheet, I'm going to cover up a negative for the 45 and a negative for the 2. So I'm going to have a positive answer. I do not have to write my positive symbol. However, I'm going to for you to see that our answer is going to be positive. And I'm going to multiply 45 times 2. And 45 times 2 is 90. So my final answer is going to be a positive 90. Negative 3 times negative 10. I'm going to use my hands or my fingers to cover up a negative for the 3 and a negative for the 10. So I know that my answer is going to be positive. I'm going to multiply 3 times 10 to get 30. So my final answer is going to be 30. I could also just write positive 30 just as 30 without my plus sign in front. This one's a little tricky. We have absolute value in there. So I need to simplify my absolute values before I use my MD triangle. So I'm going to figure out the absolute value of negative 8. So the absolute value of negative 8 is just 8. And the absolute value of 8 is just 8. Right? Because negative 8 is the same distance away from 0 as positive 8. Now, I don't have 2 positives on my MD triangle, and that's because we know that 2 positive integers are going to equal a positive answer. So 8 times 8 is just 64. Negative 2 times 7. I'm going to use my hands to cover up a negative for my 2 and a positive for my 7. So my final answer is going to be negative. I'm going to multiply 2 times 7 to get 14. So my final answer is going to be negative 14. Okay, I have 3 numbers. I have to use order of operations. I'm going to go from left to right. So I'm going to concentrate on just what's in the red box. I have a negative times a negative, so I'm covering up my 2 negatives. So I know that my answer is going to be positive. So then I'm thinking about 3 times 4, which is 12. I'm going to bring down my other 12. I know that, just deleting our hands since we're not going to use them on this one, I know that 12 times 12 is going to be a positive because they're both positive, and 12 times 12 is 144.